Hi, I'm Rebecca Newman from the Richmond Grows Seed Lending Library, and this is a video about how to create a grow out program. Some communities call them curated crop, where basically you're asking members from the community, it could be individuals and a combination of that, maybe master gardeners, school gardens, community gardens, connecting with horticulture departments or people that are, permaculturists in your community, and asking people in the community to donate a certain part of their land to grow out seed for the benefit of the community to be shared through seed libraries. So if you go to seedlibraries.net and you go to our Maintain a Library page, if you click that on and you click on the Grow Out program, it'll take you to some ideas and some suggestions about a grow out program and how to kind of create that. When people sign our membership form for Richmond Grows, one of the things we ask them is, are you interested in growing out seed for the community? And then also we send out periodic newsletters to our members, and in there during our spring and fall, we'll add out, we'll put out requests to grow out seeds. And then anytime anyone says yes, in my Gmail account, I put a little tag on them and add them to the group of grow out people. So whenever I send out a generic email to the whole community, I send out a specific email to people that have at some point grown out seed to us. So we have kind of a base that we're starting to develop. Now we've been focusing pretty much on super easy plants, fava beans, peas, beans, lettuce, some of the things like carrots, which are on this thing. We've actually asked to see people that had larger spaces if they could grow some of that out. So what I've done is I've created this tracking sheet, and we're looking as a community to say, what seeds do we really want to save? So this sheet is all organized by family. So you can kind of see down on the bottom, amaranth family, nightshade family, brassicas, flowers, which are many different families, herbs, same thing. So let's just kind of like click on one. So I'm clicking on the peas and beans. So what we're doing is having discussions around, we can obviously continue to save the things that we've been given, from commercial donations, or we can really look and say, what are some of the things towards? So in Richmond, California, we definitely have a food security kind of focus, and we also feel like we can do that while also preserving genetic diversity and starting to grow seed to have a more climate resilient in our community. So we've started looking at what are some of the things. For example, I really like this Tarahumara Bordal runner bean, and I've grown it, and I got it from Native Seed Search. So we're looking at what types of things are we committing as a community to grow out. So I have the common name, scientific name, variety, seed saving level. So this document is actually shared. It's available at the richmondgrowsseeds.org website. So, and also when we send out a request, people get this document. So people can look through and say, oh, you're looking for people to grow out beans at this season? Oh, I don't know what the sunset runner bean is. And so they can actually click on that link. Maybe I'll do that a little later so I don't get too distracted by that. So they can click it out, and it actually will download. It basically gives a description of the seed, and it's basically 6 envelope labels that look like this. So they'll get 6 of these that they can, one, see the description, but also if they lose the label, they can print out more, and then every year we've got that in one centralized location, so that makes it easy for us as well. And then I'm going to start adding things like use. So for example, some runner beans can be used as a fresh eating bean, also kind of a shelling bean, and then also a soup bean. And flowers are edible, although not sure why you'd want to do that and then not get the benefit of the beans, but that's just me. So original source, I've had these for many, many years, although I probably should have written where I got them originally. And then the viability in years, how long those seeds are good, the population side, and then who is growing those out. So you can see here, we've kind of seen who's growing them out this year. And then you can see here we've got some red marks. So basically that tells us this is something that next year we're going to want to make sure we have someone grow it out, because the seed's a little bit older and hasn't been grown out in the collection for a while. So those are just kind of some things that we're thinking about as we're creating this program. So one of the things that I have is I actually have this box of seeds, and it's pretty. I have basically peas and beans and all this stuff. And whenever I teach a seed saving class, I take this box with me, and the people in the class can actually at the end of the class check out seeds. And I know that they, I mean, these are all super easy seeds to grow in the beginning, but also I know that they have the background to do it. And then in that, so when if they decide to check out a package of seeds, what they get with this is, you know, we provide seeds, we provide envelopes to return things in, we provide our little, this is downloadable at the Richmond Grow site, and I'll also put it on seedlibraries.net. But basically, here's a brochure on super easy plants to save, population sizes, isolation distances, and then labels that they can cut out and put on their stuff. One of the things we've also been encouraging people to do lately is, you know, especially for larger seeds like beans, you know, putting things in glass jars so they can just put the label right on the jar. And then I'm also putting a label on the top. So once again, when we open the drawer up, we can look and see 2015, these seeds are still good, you know, or 2010, you know, and this seed is viable for 5 years. Okay, this is something we need to pull this year. So that's kind of one thing we're thinking about in terms of our grow. We're also adding this to a lot of our labels recently, which is 1 seed equals 1 plant. So just kind of highlighting that. And then another thing to think about in terms of your grow out. So if we're starting to focus more on rare and unusual plants. And so obviously when we get something that's rare and unusual, we're not going to just put it out to someone who's never grown and shown that they have an ability to return seed. I mean, obviously things happen, but at the same point, we don't want to give out something that's rare and unusual to someone who doesn't have, hasn't shown a commitment to this. So when something's rare or unusual, we will try to get several people to grow it out that have shown that they are committed to growing out seed and returning it. And also on our envelopes, we're labeling things that are rare and kind of asking people, encouraging. I mean, obviously if we can grow a lot of it out and we can get it out in the community, that's great. And it's also sometimes nice to say, you know, if we've got 10 fava bean varieties in the collection and something is rare, we might want to highlight that. It's like, please, you know, take this if you're planning on actually saving the seed versus using it as a cover crop. So we do have some fava beans that are just like, hey, use this for cover crop. And hey, these ones here over here are unusual. Please, you know, please respect that and help us save those. So that's kind of just a beginning of this. Once again, this is a document that is in process and hopefully will continue to develop. And once again, I'm going to start looking at next year, how do we start tracking out, you know, what gets grown and what doesn't. I think I did that on a couple of families. Let's see, maybe the onion family, because I know that's like a every other year thing. Okay, yeah, so here you can kind of see chives, you know, grew this year. Next year is probably fine, but definitely 2017 we'd want to grow it out. So I'm trying to figure out a kind of color combination or something that just kind of makes sure that we're being mindful of if a seed viability, you know, rate, or if it's something that we go through really quickly, you know, how do we continue to do that? And we're also, one of the things we're doing in the East Bay of the San Francisco Bay Area is working with other seed libraries to see if we have something that's really rare and unusual, maybe having another seed library also growing that seed out so we have a backup. And also, I keep a backup of critical stuff here too. So if we've got some backup within our system as well. So I hope that's helpful. And once again, please do email us if you have suggestions or comments, because once again, we're kind of creating this as we go and hoping to do something for the benefit of all and saving some amazing varieties and creating things that are locally adapted to our communities while creating community and local resilience. So many, many blessings.